Welcome to another edition of Inside Titan Sports. I'm your host, Jeff Radcliffe, and as we do every week, we're going to get you caught up on all things Titan athletics. In fact, all 11 programs at some point will be discussed here at Eastern Florida State College. Today on tap, we'll talk a little bit about volleyball. We'll get you caught up on the nationally ranked men's and women's soccer teams, and a look ahead to Jeremy Schulman's Titans basketball team as they look to win a conference title for a fourth straight year. Without further ado now, let's turn our attention inside the gym, and for once we will start with Andrea Rasmussen, the head coach of the Titans women's volleyball team. Welcome again, and it's been a good couple of weeks as the team continues to get better and better, right?
We are. We're growing and headed in the right direction, making some really nice strides and picking up some important wins.
And these next couple of weekends are going to be very, very big. You got a little tournament out of town, and that really could build a lot of momentum, right, as you get into conference play next week.
Yeah, we're starting our conference this week, and we're moving in next week into 3 conference matches in 5 days. So within the next 2 weeks, we'll have played everybody in the conference once, and we'll have a good idea of where we're going to stand and where we are moving forward.
Tell me about some of the players that have impressed you here so far that are starting to maybe turn your head as a coach.
We're doing some really nice, we're getting our right sides involved with Malvise Ortiz, our Puerto Rican that's on the right side. Getting her involved in our offense has really opened things up for us. We have more options to use than just pushing the ball through the outside. We're still struggling a little bit getting our middles involved, but hopefully in the next week or two we'll get that straightened out as well, and then have 3 strong options on offense every time we're behind the ball.
A roster that gets depleted when you ever have an injury, you have a couple of them, and how are you managing that right now?
Luckily, the injuries came in positions that we had some depth in, so it wasn't too big of a struggle, but obviously missing big personalities on the court like Megan Grafey, that hurt us a little bit. But we've had some other girls step in. Lindsay Whittington has stepped in and is doing a very nice job as a libero, and so we're doing what we need to do and making some moves.
Talk about some of these teams you're going to be playing this weekend. Thankfully, it's non-conference, but what do you want to see as far as improvement compared to where you've been? I mean, you've been hovering around 500 the whole season. This is a chance to kind of pad the record a little bit.
It really is, and they're good teams. They're strong programs that we'll be coming up against. Now, none of the teams that we play are very easy, so it'll be good, tough matches and give us an opportunity to work through some things that we're still struggling with a little bit in practice, and give us a chance to translate practice to match play and take some things from practice and work on them.
You see the scores now coming in early season from the other teams in the conference. You've got 8 conference games coming up, 4 real soon. How is the Southern Conference shaping up right now?
It's definitely different. Everybody's in a battle right now for first place. It's wide open as no conference matches have been played yet. But you know, the usual contender Miami-Dade has struggled to start, which is very odd for them in a very rare case. But it's seeing the other teams. I've had a chance to see everybody else play so far, and it's going to be a tight race to the top. So I think that we're all kind of eager to play each other in the next 2 weeks and see where we really stand.
Is the Miami-Dade date next Tuesday, is that the one that's been circled on the calendar here for you? Because this is kind of the gold standard in the conference.
It really is. It's very important, but we don't ever overlook any of the other teams as well. We know that we're going to have to step on the court every time and play hard and play to win in order to see the results that we need. But obviously Miami-Dade always has the allure of being number 1, and so they're definitely a good team to look forward to and to get up for.
I believe they've won a conference title 28 years running. I mean, could this be the year for the Eastern Florida program to break that run? I mean, do you think you guys have what it takes to go over the top now?
I think we do. We saw them early in a preseason scrimmage, and we had a rough start, but we were still trying to figure out our angle of play and what we were going to be able to do. They are, we're in the same situation. We all have a lot of freshmen on our rosters this year, and I think that this is the year that if anything's going to happen, if there's going to be a shakeup, this is going to be the year for it.
In conversations with you in the past, there were things that you were concerned on last year, the improvement of the serve receive. Has that been better to your liking this year?
Yeah, we're running a really efficient serve receive right now and really giving ourselves the opportunity to run a great offense, and being able to open up and having Malvise hitting on the right side and having some other hitters step up for us is really only happening because we're able to pass the ball well and take care of the ball on serve receive.
Where do you want to be? What does it take to get to the point you want to be at the end of the season? Is there something wrong with maybe peaking too early? Is that a possibility? Or would you welcome that to get a nice run of form going in the middle of the season?
Well, I think that it would be nice to peak a little bit to show, our growth now, and we've learned a lot. We've come a long way. It'd be nice to show that more than one match at a time. So I think that we definitely can peak a little bit now, but I don't want to see us playing our best ball until the end of October as we head into the state tournament, when it really matters, and that's the great joy of playing really tough teams in the beginning of the season and hitting your learning curve early so that you find your confidence and find your stride as you get through those conference matches, which send you to the state tournament.
How have things been at the Titan Fieldhouse now? You're going to have a nice run of games here upcoming that's certainly going to help the cause, isn't it, having the fans behind you?
It really is, and it's very nice to see the support increase from the student section to staff and faculty. We're having more staff and faculty come out to our matches, and so it's really nice to see in my 2 years here, seeing the crowd increase and the support behind our program increase. So it's really good. Not only is it good for me, but it's also great for our athletes to see their instructors in the stands and for the instructors to see what their kids are doing when they're not in the classroom.
The volleyball team is a program that you are building in a way from scratch, kind of a rebuild process. What is it like when you've got the other programs that are nationally ranked, the soccer teams and the basketball teams, the baseball teams, and you're trying to be the next one in line? And how does that help? And maybe how is that a challenge for you too?
It's very challenging. There's a lot of pressure to perform right away and to make big improvements right away. But that's a welcome pressure that any coach is going to deal with. So I think that it's really nice, but it's really great for our student athletes to see, especially my student athletes, to see the recognition that our other sports get, and gives them something to aim for and gives them something to work for. Every single one of them signed knowing that this was a program in rebuilding and knowing that we were going to have to stumble a little bit before we caught our stride and moved forward. And so they all signed knowing that, and they all have the same mentality that they want to help grow it as well. So I think it's a really good place to be.
You happy to get like 4 big conference games out of the way early, and does that give you an opportunity to make adjustments at all when you get through the first run of games in that conference?
Absolutely. It gives you the chance to kind of see where you stand, and then you have 2 to 3 weeks before you see that team again. So it gives you the chance to work on things and grow, improve, make some changes to your lineup or your defense or whatever you need to do to help yourself succeed against those teams. Gives you the chance to have that time to make the changes.
Coach Andrea Rasmussen, once again, everybody, continued good luck. And they played earlier this week on TV, on WEFS-TV, against Indian River State College. For highlights of that, if you want to watch the replay or just get the recap, check the stats, and see what the girls are doing, you can visit the website at easternflorida.com/athletics. When we come back, we will check in with the men's and women's soccer program, an update on the women, and we'll talk with head coach Oliver Twelvetrees of the men and a special guest when we come back on Inside Titan Sports.
This is where we're building the future. This is where we meet the challenge, where leaders emerge and careers take flight. This is where you discover new opportunities. Choose to stand where excellence lives, where Titans rise. Eastern Florida State College.
Welcome back to Inside Titan Sports. I'm your host, Jeff Radcliffe. We now turn our attention to the men's and women's soccer programs at Eastern Florida State College. And Jeff Carr's women just keep rolling along. They are undefeated, and now, for the first time ever, a consensus #1 in both polls. And look ahead, very big game coming up next week against Darton State, the #2 team in all the land, and they will be on the road for that game. So very, very big game in the early season for the Titans. But now let's shift gears and talk about the men's program. Joining us, Oliver 12 Trees, the head men's soccer coach, and Shari Saperi, the starting left back for your Titans. Congratulations. You keep rolling on, undefeated, and now ranked number 2 in the country, not far behind the ladies right now. It's got to feel good, right?
Yeah, it's great. The women's program are leading the way, and we're trying to continue our progress through the season and keep getting better and improving. It's nice to get that recognition nationally and get the number 2 ranking.
Shari, I know you're friends with I'm sure everybody on the women's team as well. Is there a little bit of a competition? Hey, we you get to push each other a little bit to have that national profile?
I guess what they say, women mature faster. I guess it's a little bit true in our situation. But no, I think we can catch them this year for sure. Gotcha.
So a big win over Jefferson College on Friday. It was televised live on WEFS. Got a chance to call that game. A game that started like gangbusters, out to a 2-0 lead, but then you had to battle back. And talk a little bit about that contest and what you learned from your guys in that one.
I think when you go up, when you make a 2-0 lead so quickly in the game, it's mentally a little bit difficult to keep up the pressure and go on and take the next level and kill the game. And I think the guys put their foot off the gas a little bit and relaxed, and then once you lose the momentum, it's difficult to get it back. And I think that's the learning curve for the young lads that we have. A lot of freshmen and junior college players, 18, 19-year-old players, and they need to learn to develop and learn how to kill a game off when you do get into that commanding lead. But again, they rallied, they came back to 2-2, and they showed what they were made of, and again scored a great winning goal. And I thought even in the second half, even though there was no further score, and I thought they did a very, very good performance in the second half, maybe even better than the first.
Shari, what's that like? You have this 2-0 lead, and then they've got such fast players that were kind of running at you guys. What was that like when they were making that comeback?
Oh, that was very hectic for me. Being a defender, having all these wingers run at me. We were up 2-0. First couple minutes, you think that it's going to be 5-6-0 first half, easy. So I think maybe the mentality for us kind of changed negatively, and but we battled back. We got the win, got the point,
Yeah, it was J.J. Donnelly, Yannick Kofi that got out to that 2-0 lead. They pulled 2 goals back to Jefferson, but then it was Micah Smoke, your former teammate at Mel High, who was just a wonder goal that sent that ball diagonally across along the ground, and bam, that was all she wrote, and that took you into halftime and really had the momentum that led you into the second.
Yeah, Micah's really stepped up, and we knew he had the talent to step up and fulfill his potential after kind of a difficult injury-plagued freshman year, and he's really stepped up as well as Shari and the other leaders, sophomores on the team, and he put in a match-winning performance for sure.
You expected him to play along the back line with you this year, and here he is, Mr. Versatility. What's it like playing with your Micah again for another year, because you played with him for Coach McCabe at Mel High, and what's it like playing with Micah still?
It's great having a kid like Micah Smoke on your team. He's someone who always wins every air ball. He's got a kick that will score from anywhere, and he puts his heart on the line for every game. He'll keep fighting even when everyone else is stopped. So.
Tell me about how the defenders have done. You've had to really make some adjustments because of injuries. You had Wilford kind of move to the back. You got Shari there on the left as well. How's the back line done, in your opinion? And it's kind of an emergency situation that tends to happen in any college athletic situation. But guys fill in, they step up, and their name is called.
Yeah, we've got 26 players on the squad, and they're all working hard to prove that they're worthy of a starting place. Shari, came in and has done a fantastic job as a left back and really solidified that back line, provided leadership and a vocal player in the back line to organize that back four, as well as young Matt McClellan's done very well back there as well, and Nick Medcraft, and obviously Wilfred's had to come in and do a job there at the left center back too.
45-minute rain delay, and these weather delays have been very commonplace on the men's and women's side this year. What's it like as a player to have to wait that out?
It's pretty terrible. You're in you're in your zone, and then having the game called, it totally throws you off. And at that point, you almost don't want to finish. You know what I'm saying? You'd rather take the 3 points and go home. But we came out a lot stronger. I think probably the best we played in a long time in that end of the second half. We came out really hard. We had last 4 minutes, we had to play very strong, because had they scored, then we would have it take the game. Like if it got canceled, we would have to reschedule it and all that. But, we did our jobs pretty well. Coach Barb's our assistant coach. He, had a nice talk to us, told us to keep us very tight, and we did it. So.
I imagine you looked at the clock. We were in the press box, and there was 4 minutes from being an official game, and you wonder what's going through your guys' heads. Like, man, if we just played 4 more minutes and this lightning hadn't struck, we can just all go home and be done with it. I'm sure Jefferson didn't want to do that, but that's got to be nerve-wracking, right?
Yeah, it's tough for the players, but obviously the safety of the players has to be first and foremost. So although it's difficult to deal with, and I think the other team especially probably frustrated as well, as they're not familiar with the surroundings here in Central Florida. But the players' safety certainly got to be the #1 priority.
Shari, I'm just curious what's it like to play for such a high-ranked team, and does that bring pressure with it? I mean, and look, you guys have really had to work hard here in the early season, playing a really difficult schedule. I'm wondering if that is a motivating factor, or is that something that sometimes can be a hindrance, and that's kind of in the back of your mind?
I would say it goes both ways. It's definitely a motivating factor, but at the same time, you're also thinking about that constantly. You don't want to lose your ranking. You don't want to lose your spot. Because like you said, we got 26 people on the team. Everyone's competing for a spot. You mess up once, maybe you're gone. So
yeah,
you got to play 100% every game.
Eddie Rodriguez and I were commenting of just Jefferson team. They were just outside the rankings, but boy, they certainly looked like a powerhouse team that you guys were up against.
Certainly, they should be in the top 10, top 15. They're a very, very good team. Definitely one of the toughest teams we'll face this year. They came in last year, and we knew bring them in again it will give us a stern test. There's no doubt they're a talented team, and we had to perform to our best to beat them. And I think we've shown in all our games, obviously 1-3, drew 1, that even in the drawn game we probably should have won the game. But again, the other teams had chances to win. So players like Shari and Micah and Luke and JJ, they've all had to step up and produce.
Florida National is the team you play Friday, again televised on WEFS-TV and also online as well. You can catch it. What's it like playing in front of a great crowd, but then knowing anybody around the world can kind of watch your exploits here?
That's a good feeling. When you're a kid, you always want to be able to play on TV like the pros. So having that opportunity is amazing.
Yeah. Well, give us a little preview of this team. It's a brand new team, this Florida National team. What kind of team are you going to be facing that comes up here?
They're going to be a good and experienced team. They have a lot of international players. I know a few of the players on their roster, and they're going to be competitive, and it'll be a great game for the lads again to compete against high-level players. I want to put the players in front of quality teams every week so they can continue to get better. There's no point in going out and winning 15-0 and the boys don't get anything out of it. So again, it'll be a close 1 or 2 goal game where the boys are going to be tested defensively, and if we can score goals, which I'm sure we will.
We certainly hope so. Coach Shari, thanks again for joining us. Continued good luck. Looking forward to see you guys play Friday against Florida National. That game, again, Friday evening on WEFS-TV. Make sure you catch it live. When we come back, we will venture into the basketball season for the first time. Still a little while away. Got another month before we actually hit the balls on the floor. However, we will talk with Jeremy Schulman and a special guest when we come back as we preview the men's basketball program here this year at Eastern Florida State College. We'll be right back.
Eastern Florida State College. This is where you discover new opportunities, where you pursue your dreams, and careers take flight. Apply now for new bachelor and associate degree programs in business, healthcare, computer technology, and other growing fields. Eastern Florida, where Titans rise. Apply today.
Welcome back to Inside Titan Sports. I'm your host, Jeff Radcliffe, and now this is going to be a fun time as we get to talk about the 3-time defending Southern Conference champion men's basketball team at Eastern Florida State College. Jeremy Schulman, head coach, and John Martin, the freshman newcomer who will be a starter this year. Welcome to the show for the first time. Got to be excited to get this thing underway then.
Yeah, very excited, very excited. But thanks for already anointing him a starter. He still has some work to do in practice.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll work my way up.
Okay.
Probable starter. Probable
starter. Well, but,
no, he's doing great.
Certainly a contributor. So you come from Massachusetts, but by way of a lot of different places.
Yeah, you can say that.
So tell everybody, you do have a couple of high schools. You played for 4 high schools in 4 years, 2 of them from this area, Palm Bay and Heritage also.
Right.
What's the challenge? I mean, first of all, going from high school to high school, I'm sure in a way it helps you adapt to the college game pretty quick because you already know how to switch things around.
Right, the transition is tough, but I mean, you get used to having to step up in moments and perform. So tryouts are usually a big day, and no one knows me, but just trying to get used to the coach and how they play and the different players, you have to adapt pretty quickly. But it's helped me in a lot of ways as well.
Jeremy, how is the preseason portion of the yearly schedule going right now? You still haven't really started practice. It's still in workouts, but I'm sure it's a very exciting time for you.
It's very exciting. Every part of the year is exciting for me. But we're in preseason workouts right now. Official practice starts October 1st. We've got 8 hours a week right now. We are maximizing those 8 hours, and we're working really, really hard. And it's a lot of fun because we got a lot of new faces. You know, John is actually one of the veterans on the team as a redshirt freshman, and hasn't played a minute yet of college basketball, and he's one of the veterans. But he's already been named a captain, which is fantastic, especially for a player that hasn't stepped on the floor for a college game yet. But it's been a lot of fun, a lot of new faces, and guys really working hard right now. So it's been very enjoyable so far.
Titans program finished last year ranked 6th in the country. Is that the big attraction to come start your college basketball career here? What really drew you back?
Absolutely. I mean, team success is very important. Having good relationships with the coaches. I mean, he saw me play my junior year, a little bit of Heritage, and he liked me a lot. So he was on the back of my mind even when I was moving. You know, my senior year, thinking about coming back to Florida and having that as an option. It worked out perfectly.
Awesome. 47-match home winning streak. The pressure to keep that going as always. I think that it's always a challenging home schedule, challenging the Southern Conference. Give us just kind of a run through of what you think this season's going to, how that's going to shape up, and what challenges do you have ahead?
Well, there's a little bit of pressure, but we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to win every game anyways, and we do take it one game at a time. So right now we're just looking forward to October 30th and 31st. We're playing USC Sakahachi and Atlanta Metro, 2 outstanding teams, and so we'll take it one game at a time and trying to get that winning streak a little bit larger. But we've got a great home schedule. 4th home game of the season, November 6th. We're playing Central Florida, who won a national championship 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. We're playing Harcum on January 2nd, who is top 10 team in the country last year, and Final Four in the national tournament the year before. And in addition to our conference slate, which is the Southern Conference, one of the best conferences, not just in Florida but in the country. So. Really exciting home slate for us, and hopefully we're going to get some great crowds out there. But it's a great schedule as always.
John, at this point, how do you gel with your teammates, because you really haven't gotten on the floor with it yet? A lot of newcomers. Does that help that a lot of you guys are coming in new together?
Yeah, it can help in a lot of ways. I mean, we're all growing together, and there's that bond. We don't have too many, veterans, as he was saying. It's crazy to think that I'm one of the more experienced guys, but I'm learning with them just as much, and it's a lot of fun. So. Growing together with your teammates, you just can't wait to hit the floor with them and see how we did.
By my count, you have one returning starter in Georgie Baranya, right? And you got Xavier Pert and Will Gibson. Will they be big contributors this year for you guys?
Georgie's going to be outstanding. I mean, he's already been great so far in workouts so far for us. Of course, he was first team all-conference last year, not just returning starter, 12 points a game and 7.3 rebounds a game. And looks like he's going to take his game to the next level this year as a sophomore. I mean, he already looks that much more confident, much more physical, and he was already very productive, of course, as a freshman, but we're expecting big things from him. Xavier could make a huge jump. Xavier backed up All-American Kyle Meyer last year, so minutes were a little bit limited, but would be with anyone backing up Kyle Meyer. So
yeah, it's a big loss for you guys.
A big loss. But Xavier's worked really hard. He's dropped 20 pounds in the offseason, gotten in much better shape. He's still got to get a little more consistent, but his talent level is through the roof. He's getting a lot of mid-major Division I interest right now. And Will's another contributor for us off the bench, and another guy that's done a fantastic job making a jump over the summer. And we know we can rely on Will for whatever minutes he gets. He's going to be really good for us off the bench.
John, tell me about your game. You're a guard. What are your strengths in your mind?
Outside shooting is probably the number one strength. I can handle the ball. I can create plays for my teammates. I can do a lot of things. I like leading my guys and making sure everyone is where they're supposed to be, and just kind of having a good relationship with Coach Schulman, so we're all in one motion, one team, and that's the way I like playing basketball the most.
Before the first ball is tipped up in the air, what this point going forward, what do you need to kind of get settled, get improved on by the time you play that first game? I know it's jumbled and it's a lot of stuff.
We don't have enough time left in the show right now. It's way too early in the year for that. We've got way too much to get accomplished, but. I will say we've got a ton to get accomplished still, especially with so many new faces that have to learn our system, the way we do things. And we haven't even come close to even starting all of our set plays, our offensive sets, defensive calls. But I will say is we've got an unbelievable group that just wants to learn, wants to work. They've already been so unbelievably bought in from day one that we're going to get there. It's just, we're a little ways from getting there, but thank goodness we don't play yet today. We don't play until official game until October 30th. So
back-to-back years, this is a program that was eliminated by the eventual national champion. So hopefully the luck is good this year. Maybe this is the time you're knocking the people out. What is the potential for this team that you see so far?
I mean, why not? Why wouldn't we be able to win it all? Yeah, exactly. Hopefully we're able to flip the script, and a couple more teams can go home saying they lost the national champions, and that'll be us. So looking forward to the season getting underway.
A couple of new faces to your coaching staff too. Explain those changes.
Well, that's been as big of an addition as anything. We recruited really well this year, but I think we recruited best at the coaching staff. And we brought in Lynn Cundiff, who actually won a national championship in 1978 as the head coach at Independence, Kansas. Coach Cundiff, we call him Coach Lynn, but it's just an unbelievable coach, and brings a lot of expertise and brings some added discipline to the team as well. Oh yeah, well, I mean, unbelievable addition to the staff. But Coach Reggie is just Reggie Freeman. He was the 3rd all-time leading scorer in University of Texas history, and actually someone that I watched a lot in the mid-90s, and he was actually my brother's favorite basketball player from 93 to 97, and averaged like 26 a game and was an All-American as a senior at Texas. And he came in, and I mean, our guys just from day one just beyond fired up to have him on the staff. So he's brought another level of expertise and the level of experience that he's had bringing in. So really, really big time hire. And then we elevated Anthony Jackson to a higher level of assistant coach. He was on the staff last year, but a lot more responsibility this year in his 3rd year with us. So.
And another outstanding home schedule, and you have a great crowd as always, and you get to play on TV. This is kind of a nice bonus for not many junior college programs have this. So is that kind of an attraction for you guys, that you kind of be on display, a chance for recruiters, parents, that sort of things to watch?
Absolutely. Like especially for me, I have parents who are home, out of state, so they get to watch the games online. It's a pretty good experience.
Well, John Martin and Jeremy Schulman of the men's basketball program at Eastern Florida State College, best of luck, gentlemen, in the coming weeks, and good luck this season. We look forward to talking to you down the line.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And that is all the time we have for this edition of Inside Titan Sports. I'd like to thank all of our guests and you for watching, and remind you, watch us every week on Inside Titan Sports to get the latest scoop on all the 11 athletic programs here at Eastern Florida State College. If you'd like more in-depth information and get some athlete profiles and check the rosters, scores, and schedules, you can go to the school's website at easternflorida.edu/athletics. So for all my guests, I'm Jeff Radcliffe saying so long and go Titans.